Do fingernails really keep growing after you die? Are those long nails from the grave just movie fiction or terrifying reality? Has science finally uncovered the truth behind this creepy myth? What really happens inside the human body after death? It's a question that has haunted humanity for centuries. Do the dead still grow hair and nails? Or are we just being fooled? Ancient people believed it was a sign of dark, supernatural forces. But the truth is something very different. Today we break down the myth in simple, shocking detail. This secret will surprise you and might just erase a lifelong misunderstanding. Let's dive into one of the creepiest and most widely believed myths of all time. That after people die, their nails and hair keep growing. It's a story you've probably heard from an older relative, seen in a horror movie, or read in a spooky novel. And honestly, it sounds kind of believable. I mean, if you dig up an old grave and see long fingernails, what else would you think? That person's nails must have kept growing, right? Well, not exactly. This myth is extremely common, but also completely wrong. It turns out what looks like growth is actually something very different happening inside the body. This isn't some ghostly transformation, it's science. And once you understand what's really going on, you'll realize why this myth has survived for generations, even though it's completely false. The idea of nails growing after death plays into our deepest fears about life, death, and the unknown. But today, we're going to put a flashlight on this dark corner and see the truth. And the truth is way more fascinating than fiction. To understand why people believe this, we have to go back. Long before we had microscopes or autopsies, people relied on what they saw, and what they saw was weird. Sometimes graves were reopened, and the body inside had what looked like longer nails and hair. That freaked people out. They thought maybe the dead weren't really dead, or worse, maybe they were coming back. This idea became popular in old Europe, where myths about vampires and undead creatures were everywhere. Long nails must be the sign of a vampire. Uncut hair must mean the spirit is still lingering. The myth was repeated so many times that it started sounding like fact. It showed up in books, plays, and eventually horror films. And once a myth makes it to movies, it spreads fast. But now that we have science, we can actually look at what happens to a body after death. And it tells a totally different story. A story that has nothing to do with nails growing and everything to do with how our bodies break down after life ends. When someone dies, their body doesn't just stop existing. It begins a process called decomposition. One of the first things that happens is dehydration. The body starts to dry out. This is important because your skin is full of moisture, and when it loses that moisture, it starts to shrink. As the skin around the fingers and face pulls back and tightens, it creates the illusion that the nails are getting longer. But the nails haven't moved at all. They're exactly where they were. It's the skin that's receding, making them look longer and sharper. This is also why some bodies appear to have more exposed teeth or sunken eyes. The skin is drying out and pulling away, making everything underneath more visible. It's not a horror movie transformation. It's just basic biology. The same goes for hair. After death, the skin on the scalp tightens and shrinks, which can make hair seem like it's grown. But again, it's an illusion. No actual growth is happening, and we can prove it. Here's the key question. Can anything grow without energy? And the answer is no. Nail and hair growth require living cells, active metabolism, blood circulation, and nutrients. When someone dies, all of that stops. Your heart stops pumping blood. Your brain stops sending signals. Your cells stop dividing. That includes the cells responsible for hair and nail growth. Once life ends, the body becomes a closed system. Nothing new is being produced. So even if it looks like something has changed, there's no internal force making your nails longer. There's no secret post-death growth mode. Just the normal signs of a body breaking down. And yet, because it looks so dramatic and frankly creepy, people assume something unnatural is going on. This is why even some medical students have been fooled by the illusion until they learn the science behind decomposition. Scientists and forensic experts have studied dead bodies for centuries. They've observed thousands of cadavers and tracked what happens to them hour by hour after death. And guess what? Not a single body has ever shown actual nail growth. In controlled lab environments, experts monitored the same bodies over time. The length of the nails remained the same. What changed was the appearance due to shrinking skin. Forensics teams use this knowledge when examining corpses. It helps determine how long someone has been dead and what environmental conditions the body has been exposed to. What might look like signs of life, stiff limbs, curled fingers, or dry, sharp nails, are actually just part of the body's shutdown process. These aren't signs of revival. They're signs of decay. In fact, the more dry and sharp the nails look, the more time has passed since death. So the next time someone tells you that nails grow after death, you can tell them, nope, they just look like they do. Now you might be thinking, okay, but sometimes dead bodies move. Isn't that a sign of activity? And surprisingly, movement can happen, but it's not because of life. It's because of chemistry. After death, some muscles contract due to chemical reactions still happening in the body. This is called rigor mortis. It can make fingers curl, limbs stiffen, and even eyelids twitch slightly. But these movements don't mean the person is alive, or their body is still working. It's a temporary state that comes from the way proteins and enzymes behave when the body's temperature drops and cells break down. Once that phase is over, the body relaxes again. None of it has anything to do with nails or hair growing. It's just part of the shutdown process. Think of it like a machine that's turning off. Some lights flicker as power drains out. But that doesn't mean it's still running. Part of the reason this myth became so popular is Hollywood. Movies love dramatic visuals. A dead body with extra long nails, creepy. A vampire rising from the grave with flowing hair, scary. So directors use these visuals because they grab attention, not because they're accurate. TV shows, books, and even some documentaries have played into the idea that the dead somehow keep changing after death. And for the audience, it's entertaining. But over time, people start confusing fiction with fact. Add in some spooky graveyard photos, and suddenly everyone's convinced the dead are growing claws underground. But when you pull back the curtain, you see the truth: dry skin, shrinking flesh, and natural decay, and not horror magic. So next time you see a spooky scene in a show, remember, it's designed to thrill, not to educate. So let's put it all together. No, nails do not grow after death. What people are seeing is dry, shrunken skin making the nails appear longer. Hair doesn't grow either, and it just looks like it does because of the same effect. The body doesn't keep working in secret after the heart stops. It begins to shut down completely. There are no hidden systems, no creepy nail growth engine running in the background. It's all basic biology and natural decay. This myth survives because it sounds dramatic and gives people something to wonder about. But when you look closely and scientifically, it falls apart. So the next time someone says, "Did you know nails keep growing after you die?" just smile and say, "Nope, that's just your skin playing tricks on you." Science beats spooky every time. And if you enjoyed this myth-busting journey, stick around. We've got more unbelievable myths to destroy. Hit subscribe and let's explore more creepy truths together.